When is Wuthering Heights not Wuthering Heights? You might be tempted to say when someone tries to adapt it into a movie, but I'm talking about titles in other languages. Not all languages, just the ones I know or know of. So what are some of the other names of this great novel? The French title for the latest film is only one version. What about this one? Léo de Hurlevent. A lovely example of alliteration there, especially with its two H aspiré. French H is always silent, but in addition to the more common mute H, we have the H aspiré. That's when a French H behaves more like a consonant without elision or liaison, such as in Léo, Le Havre, La Hollande. You can see the site Lawless French online for a good list. But back to Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. It's had other titles in French too, which you can check out on the French Wikipedia page if such variations interest you, as they do me. I like the title of the 1951 translation, Heurte bise, another H aspiré there, one derived from the verb heurter, to strike or hit. Added to the noun bise. This is not the bise where you have a kiss on each cheek, but the word bise meaning a north wind or a northeasterly. So descriptive of a place in a windy location, I guess. Sounds familiar? Much like the original English title of the book. Heurte bise is also a character in Jean Cocteau's writings. A 1950 translation of the book called it Les Hauts des Tempêtes, which is like the commonly used German title for the novel, Sturmhöhe. And again, in Italian, Cime Tempestose, quite literal. Edition after edition in Italian has borne this title, apparently, though Wikipedia mentions two early translations that went with La Tempestosa and La Voce nella Tempesta. Interestingly, in English, there is a distancing effect in the title unless you already know the word wuthering or wuthering. In Australia, we would tend to say wuthering. It's a Northern English and Scottish word, which the novel itself quickly explains. Wuthering Heights is the name of Mr. Heathcliff's dwelling, wuthering being a significant provincial adjective descriptive of the atmospheric tumult to which its station is exposed in stormy weather. None of this Brontë talk is gratuitous or just down to hype over the new movie. I've been a Brontë obsessive since I was 14 and made my first pilgrimage to Haworth Parsonage when I was 18, a very long time ago. I took these photos in early 1983. Little known fun fact, Charlotte Brontë, Emily's sister, also used the word wuther or wuther with inverted commas in her amazing novel Villette, which is also full of untranslated French for those who are interested, just as in her other novel Jane Eyre. So in Villette, here's Lucy Snow, the narrator. I felt sure now that I was in the pensionnat, sure by the beating rain on the casement, sure by the wuther of wind amongst trees denoting a garden outside. And then again in Charlotte's underrated novel Shirley, again with inverted commas. It's not just the latest movie edition that has those. They sat down. Caroline drew her chair up to his. The air was now dark with snow. An Iceland blast was driving it wildly. This pair neither heard the long wuthering rush nor saw the white burden it drifted. Each seemed conscious but of one thing, the presence of the other. Still, the word wuthering is best known through Emily's title. But titles, like poems or advertising slogans, are hard to get exactly right in another language, and you have to go for dynamic equivalents. For example, the French-speaking world knows Aldous Huxley's Brave New World as Le Meilleur des Mondes, using an expression that crops up satirically in Voltaire's Candide, rather than the English title being taken from Shakespeare's The Tempest. Tempests seem to be a bit of a theme today: storms, wind and wuthering. And that choice makes sense, the choice to go with the quote from Candide, given the familiarity it would have for French readers and the similar degree of irony in its usage. Now, not to put myself up there with Huxley or Shakespeare, but an example closer to home for me is my own historical novel, The Queen's Apprenticeship, which was rendered in its Spanish version as aprendizaje de una reina, so apprenticeship of a queen. Fairly similar, but with a structure probably more natural in the other language with regard to definite articles or indefinite articles. You can see the covers too are quite different. Another element, just as with film posters, that can be really varied across cultures. An earlier novel of mine, Claustrophobia, was rendered in Italian as A Quiet Life. I can't find an Irish language edition of Wuthering Heights, but apparently there is a Webster's Irish Thesaurus edition. So it's in English but with an Irish language thesaurus at the bottom of the page giving synonyms. I've never seen it though. Can you think of any other works that have had dramatic title changes across languages, whether they're books or films, or perhaps changed the names of characters within the text so that they make better sense in their new context? Please let me know in the comments any examples you can think of or that have amused you or interested you. And if you like this kind of literature and language discussion, please subscribe.